We talked about who's got to go, so let's talk about who's got to stay. Let's Talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Thank you for hanging out. New studio setup, I guess you could say. Snagged a new mic. It's been a mic that I've been looking to get for a bit. Changed some things up, but super excited about it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, for subscribing to the channel, for all your Lions news. Just put a video out about all the guys that I think the Detroit Lions got to let go. At least 3 guys that the Lions got to let walk in free agency. So I thought today we'd talk about 3 guys that I think we got to find a way to keep here. Coming in at number 3 is Isaiah Buggs. Here's an interesting guy. Isaiah Buggs has flown under the radar for the most part all season. Here's a guy who was drafted by Pittsburgh, I believe in 2019, and he was a reserve unit man. He played, according to Pro Football Reference, he played 15% of snaps when he was in Pittsburgh. Whereas here in Detroit, our guy has played 67% of snaps this season. All 17 games, 67% of snaps. I mean, Isaiah Buggs was a huge force for us defensively on the interior, and he didn't get a lot of love. This is what happens when you're on the D-line, and specifically in the interior, a guy like Aleem McNeil or Isaiah Buggs. I mean, it's not the sexy edge rush where you come in, pass rush, get the QB, and you're the big name. He's not an Aiden Hutchinson or James Houston making those huge plays, but what he was able to do in the interior was huge. I think he's a bit of an unsung hero on that D-line. He really grew and developed himself, even though he is a vet, and he also took on a huge leadership role for our team, for our defense, especially with those young bucks on the line between McNeil, Houston, and Hutch. Pascal, can't forget him. Like, Isaiah Buggs took on a huge leadership role. He's a guy that I look at and I say, bring him back. Sign him again. He has been vocally outspoken saying, I want to be back in Detroit. I want to be here for this. And I think the Lions need to address interior D-line for sure. And I kind of look at him as a Michael Brockers. When Brockers came here, it was in order to have a vet on that line, on the defense, in order to help bring up the young bucks. You keep Buggs around, we draft interior D-line, and then you have Buggs there to really usher in that new guy. I love Buggs. I think he is worth keeping around, signing him again on this free agency, during the free agency this offseason. Coming in at number 2, Jamaal Williams. And quite frankly, I am a little bit confused as to the amount of people contesting the idea of bringing Jamaal Williams back. Now, where I can understand where some people are coming from, we're going to get into it. But when I look at Jamaal Williams and what he did for this team, not just statistically, but what he did for the actual heart and the drive of the squad, he's a guy you got to bring back. Look, Jamaal Williams had a heck of a season. He broke Barry Sanders' TD in a single season record at 17 TDs rushing. He obviously was a guy that we used in short yardage to make big plays, whether that was goal line or second down and short, third down and short. He was a guy in short yardage who found a way to plow through and help get us that first down. Now, some people might look and say, well, the majority of his touchdowns were within 5 yards. And where you would be correct that they were all, first and goal, second and goal, third and goal, where you would be correct doesn't matter. He still put the touchdowns on the board. He still got his 6 points then and there, and he was an absolute dog in short yardage. Look, man, Swift is the guy in the open field who can make the moves when he's healthy. Jamaal Williams is the guy that you can rely on in short yardage territory to get you where you need to go. I love Jamaal in that way. Now, again, devil's advocate, I understand the people that are going to go, well, anytime you pay a running back, they get hurt and then they're gone. Because it's true. If you pay a running back, there seems to be this odd thing in the air, this thing in the water that running backs get hurt. And when they get hurt and they make their money and then that's the end and you're paying a guy who's sitting on the bench, yeah, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. But Jamaal Williams staked a claim this year on this team in a contract season saying, keep me around, I want to be here. And he proved it with his play on the field. So I do understand where there is the hesitation to pay a running back, and I'm not going to fault you for thinking that, because I myself am looking, I'm like, all right, we have to find a happy medium here. We can't be paying you top running back money, because he's not top running back money, because he is used in short yardage. I think there's a way to negotiate a deal that's 2 years, 3 years for minimal dollars in order to keep him around, especially if he loves being here. But you take all the statistics, you take all that he did on the field aside, you move it aside, and you look at what he did for the culture here in Detroit, for who we are as a leader, him as a leader for this team, and it is undeniable. And if you need evidence and you need to go back and go watch Hard Knocks and remember that moment when he gave that speech about the record. And I know some people are like, well, it was just pumping up for media. Disagree. The man cares. The man proved that he cares. We got to bring him back. We got to find a way to negotiate where he's happy and we're happy. He is the heart. He is the lifeblood of the Detroit Lions. And I don't think you can deny that. I do not think you can deny that watching this past season. Running backs are tough. They've always been tough. When they get hurt and you're paying them, it sucks. And they get banged up pretty bad. Some of the worst on the field, obviously. And Jamaal Williams was healthy all season, and he was vital in short yardage. My guy's a keeper. We got to find a way to work with him and keep him here in Detroit. And now, coming in at number 1, maybe this one will catch you off guard. Maybe you're here for it. Alex Anzalone. I know. Different. However, I think that Alex Anzalone has proved himself to be a guy at a position group in which the Lions have struggled with for years. Alex Anzalone came to Detroit along with Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. He was a part of that first group of veterans to come here 2021, and he came to a defense that was depleted. Alex Anzalone had to take on the quarterback of the defense role on a depleted squad, and he did wonders. And I know you look, first 4 to 6 games, my boy struggled. Alex Anzalone struggled. He was missing tackles. I think he missed 16% of tackles in that 2021 season. And when he was called out on it, he was like, yeah, I know it's a problem. And he was working on it. And it was because of the scheming. It was because of a lot of stuff going on the field that they were asking Alex Anzalone to do and take care of that he probably shouldn't have been burdened with. Then he starts missing tackles. Everything gets all blown out of proportion. People are saying, get him out of here. You watch what he was able to do. Once he hits that game 5, game 6 mark, 2021, he started getting in a rhythm. The man was really out there with no other linebacker other than Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes was he was a rookie that season. So you're asking Alex Anzalone to take on a huge weight where the cornerbacks are injured out the wazoo. D-line couldn't stop the run. There were so many problems, so many miscues that Alex Anzalone himself struggled. However, he was able to find his rhythm. He was able to push forward, and he was able to really start harnessing what we knew he could do, what Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn knew he could do. Took some time, but when he got there, he made it happen. And then that leads into 2022. That leads into this year where Alex Anzalone had a career year. According to Pro Football Reference, as I just said, in 2021, he missed 16% of his tackles. This year, 2022, he missed only 6% of his tackles. He heard it. He heard all the chirping. He heard everybody saying it, and he knew it himself. He put the work in, and he obviously decreased that missed tackle percentage by 10%. That's huge. Not to mention, the defense itself was being built up around him. You now have second-year Aleem McNeil. Okuda's back, so he's got some trust in the secondary. He's got some trust up front in Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston, and Thanksgiving Day. Really, the squad started to come alive. It wasn't a first-year rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call it. It was the second year. The foundation was laid. He could relax a little bit and play his game. Whether it was Anzalone dropping in coverage, pressuring the QB or the amount of stops we saw come from him, he was definitely one of the best aspects of our defense this year. Friggin' Thor just running around out there doing everything. He looked phenomenal. In fact, I remember it was probably like game 4 or 5. I'm watching him and I was like, man, last year was a struggle, but this year, he's unbelievable. And he kept it up all season long. Alex Anzalone really went from those first 4 games, 2021, 5 games, to being super rough, coming in and being one of the best linebackers I've seen in a while come through Detroit. He's helping lead up these younger guys. I think we gotta keep him around, knowing that, hey, Malcolm Rodriguez is here, and there's a lot of growth that we saw come from him. And some of that is owed to Alex Anzalone. I think you've got Derek Barnes continuing to be developed. You have these young guys. Let Anzalone come back. Bring Anzalone back. Another guy who's been vocal about wanting to stay in Detroit and see this through. Let him be a part of the development of these younger guys. Because a lot of what we're seeing from Malcolm Rodriguez, a lot of what we're seeing from Barnes, these good things that are coming from them and their fast development in game comes from having a great mentor. And Alex Anzalone's that. And I know some people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. But I think Anzalone's a stud, and he's a guy that we got to find a way to bring back. But that is it. That is it, my friends. Thank you for hanging out. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with these 3 guys? Are you like, oh, yeah, one of them's good, but I like these other 2 guys? Drop who you want to see the Lions re-sign this offseason in the comment section. We'll chat it up. Watched Interstellar over the weekend. I said the moon, and then I thought of Interstellar. What a good movie. If you have not seen Interstellar, what are you even doing? Matthew McConaughey, great performance. Anyways, that is it for today. I'll catch you next time on Let's Talk Lions.